we're looking at one of the largest weapon mods in Tears of the Kingdom, which adds a total of 54 new items, including swords, hammers, spears, shields, and bows, all of which can be purchased from the bargainer statue at Lookout Landing for various amounts of pose. The name of the mod is Weapons of Legend Past Zelda Gear, and is made by Tach and Asalazar. Now with that out of the way, we can get into the mod. Now, to go into some other aspects of the weapons, most of them visually don't work particularly well with fuses. This is mainly down to the fact that the blade part of the weapon doesn't disappear when you fuse something to it. Fuses that apply themselves to the end of weapons, however, look visually fine. Another very important thing to note with these weapons is most are actually indestructible. There is, however, an optional part of the mod which makes the weapons destructible, which is the reason for me listing the durabilities of the weapons. Any of the swords which have the effect a revitalized sword of legend work effectively the same as a master sword. Any of the fuses will do the disappearing thing they do with a normal master sword. The weapon will glow when in close proximity to gloom afflicted enemies and will do increased damage. Despite both of the spears already having the effect of improved flurry rush, they both also have the double fuse effect, making them incredibly strong spears. Another optional part of this mod is to allow the mirror shields to actually reflect light. The only issue is they don't stop reflecting light, even while on Link's back. Now, despite me mentioning that the weapons were indestructible earlier, there are a handful that aren't. A good example being the Razor Sword from Majora's Mask. But in this case it kind of makes sense, as that's what the weapon's known for in Majora's Mask. But if you'd rather the sword not break, there is an optional part of the mod which again makes it unbreakable. Now, for those of you who haven't seen too many Tears of the Kingdom mods, you may have noticed that there was a shield which was a sword. Functionally, these shields work the same way as any other shield, and the difference is purely visual. It does, however, kind of look like you're using the shield when attacking. The very last feature of the mod is the option to make bows invisible, which is on by default unless you go out of your way to change it. And that's the end of the video. Please let me know what was your favourite weapon or shield from this mod, and maybe what weapon or shield or bow you would have liked to have seen. For me, it probably would have been the Bow of Light from Spirit Tracks.